been spending a possibly unhealthy amount of time lately staring into petri dishes pulled from my tiny marine microbe tank. 2 gallons of salty mystery that's been running for about 6 months now. Everything in it, live sand, live rock, even the water, came from long-established tanks in a local fish store. These folks were basically handing me a microbial starter pack. And let me tell you, it's been paying off. I've found some weird and wonderful microbes hiding out in there, and the scene is constantly changing. So, when I stumbled across this odd little cluster, I was intrigued. Check out these tiny flower shapes clumped together. They moved around independently of each other, but only when I disturbed the cover slip. Naturally, I went full detective mode. What was this thing? A colony? An alien? A microscopic floral flash mob? I had no idea. After way too much time squinting into the microscope, I finally reached out to some of my microscopy friends. One of them said, "Oh, cool, looks like a sea cucumber spicule." And then it hit me. I had seen a sea cucumber crawling up the glass a while back. Sadly, it was too big for my microscope, so I basically ignored it. Turns out that weird little cluster I found is a sea cucumber papillae. Basically, one of their skin projections. And those tiny spinning wheels, those are the spicules. More on those later. I was very excited to find a sea cucumber the next day. Like, way too excited for a lumpy sea vegetable. But honestly, I had no idea what was going on with this one. It looked like it was having a rough time of it. No tentacles, weird shape. My best guess, it must have been damaged. Poor thing looked like a melted gummy worm. But a few weeks later, I found a second specimen. This one looked healthy and ready for a close-up, and I finally got the chance to really observe. All sea cucumbers belong to a group called Holothuroidea. Within that class, you've got 3 subclasses: Dendrochirotacea, Aspidochirotacea, and the star of today's show, Apodacea. These Apodacea guys have earned the nickname Medusa Worm in the saltwater aquarium hobby by, well, looking like worms with snake hair, which is fair. But guess what? They're not worms at all. They're actually Ainoderms, same phylum as starfish and sea urchins. The Apodid Sea Cucumbers are considered legless. Some technically do have tube feet, but they're so tiny it's like they didn't get the memo. Others just skip the feet entirely and worm their way through life. Most sea cucumbers breathe with a respiratory tree, basically internal gills connected to their anus. Yeah, I know. But apodids just breathe through their skin. I think I'd rather this setup, personally. And if things go really south, like I'm being eaten by a predator south, apodid cucumbers can expel a toxin that's surprisingly potent. Now, when it comes to identifying these critters, good luck. Apodids are notoriously tricky to classify, even just to genus level. Mine has simplified little tentacles that didn't match up cleanly with anything I could find. But look at this. Those tentacles are lined with spicules, which are tiny structures that provide support, like an internal skeleton. They are embedded in the body wall. The papillae, which are the little bumps on the body, are scattered all over, like weird disco balls. Some small, some big, but they all have these beautiful wheel-shaped spicules. The rest of the body? Covered in spicules shaped like tiny twisted anchors. At first I thought they were C-shaped, but as I rotated the view, I realized they're designed so the sharp ends poke outward. It's a little like wearing cleats in your skin. Since they don't have tube feet, they rely on these spicules to grip and move, along with a fun party trick, squeezing internal fluid around. It's oddly satisfying watching them scoot forward by contracting muscles and squishing themselves across the surface, like a determined water balloon. Believe it or not, apodids are considered fast. For sea cucumbers, that is. Mine was booking it across the slide like it had places to be. Here you can see it pushing against the surface tension at the edge of the cover slip. We're going, friend. Now, feeding is where things get interesting. Apodid sea cucumbers can be super picky, or total trash collectors. Some eat only the tiniest particles off a specific type of sponge. Others chow down on diatoms, and still others just vacuum up detritus from the sea floor, like tiny Roombas. Check out those grabby little tentacles bringing particles to the mouth. It's like watching someone eat popcorn 1/10 of a kernel at a time. Luckily, my specimen is one of the detritivores, and not one that needs a special fancy sponge friend. I was able to observe it eating, filling its digestive tract, and defecating. I'm not going to tell you how long I filmed its rear end, just waiting for this poo shot. Actually, I was excited to see all of these things because some sea cucumbers can go months wasting away without food before finally succumbing to starvation. I even encountered a study that determined that even though apodid sea cucumbers are seen eating, their digestive tracts can remain empty. Seeing a full digestive tract and poop confirmed that this one will be able to feed in captivity and will probably make a useful member of my cleanup crew in my tank. What should I name it? Of course, as small as it is, I'll probably never see it again. And that's all I have for you today on sea cucumbers. If anyone out there is an expert and has additions to make or can identify this one further, please leave a comment. If this kind of stuff is your jam and you want to follow along as I explore other weird tiny creatures in water, please like and subscribe to see what I find next. I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into my nerdy interests, and until next time, thanks so much for watching.